Hi everyone, 我是丸子 Tina. Welcome back to my channel. Today I just feel like sharing with you 3 great tips on how you can sound more confident even though you may not feel so. And hopefully with these 3 tips, you can impress whoever that's sitting on the other side of the table.
本视频由丸子进步工作室独家赞助播出哦。
I guess a lot of you started following me because of my IELTS videos, right? And also I had videos about personal statements, how to improve them, and interview tips, etc., right? Also, I had videos about lifestyles, vlogs, and a bit of fashion, okay? But I really want to emphasize that I have a passion for public speaking. I love debating and giving public speeches. I don't know, somehow they just excite me so much. So today, the 3 tips I'm gonna offer you all come from my practical experience. So they've helped me tremendously in getting the prize I want or landing me the job I aspire to do. And hopefully you can find them very practical and pragmatic as well. So without further ado, let's get into the first tip. The first tip is to get rid of the word like. I mean, it's literally everywhere. Whenever I hear my students speak with the word like fitting their speeches, I am gonna scold them. I mean, I really will scold them because using the word like will greatly undermine your credibility and your confidence. In fact, when I was in college, I did a study on people's habit of using the word like. Turned out it's not a very good habit, right? Unlike what we think, when you use like, you sound more native. It is not true. It's actually the contrary of sounding native. It only exposes your inconfidence and your inferiority in expressing yourselves clearly. Currently, I'm also a debating coach. The very first thing I say to my students is to get rid of the word like when you're giving a rebuttal, because it will only show that you're not so sure about what you're speaking. Let's see this example. So my opponent said just now, if you don't give them a minimum wage, they will not have enough money to live by, and they will lack the money to afford their daily necessities, right? But we would say that actually, currently they have a safety net already. For some universities, like HKBU, they will give students a basic monetary or financial support to help them to cover their transportation and lunch fees. My opponent said that giving the interns a minimum wage is a safety net. However, what we see is that a lot of schools these days are already providing such safety nets in the forms of subsidies. In HKBU, for example, if you join certain internship programs, they will actually give you a subsidy to cover your transportation and meals. We think that's sufficient enough to cover the daily necessities of interns. So as you can see in the above example, if you overuse the word like, you will sound very unsure about what you're saying, or you're trying to search for words, and debating is something that you should definitely avoid. Similarly, when you're taking an interview, you want to sound very sure about yourself, right? Certain about your qualifications and your past experience. So if you use the word like too many times, the interviewers may think that you're not very certain about what you're saying, or you're only half-hearted about what you're saying. So the very first thing that we should always correct is to remove the word like in speaking. What if you have already developed the habit of using like? Then you have to purposefully control it. Yeah, it always takes a bit of willpower to get rid of the bad habit. But once you can get rid of it, you'll find that you can be more confident and you can speak with more authority. Tip number 2, vary your pace of speaking. This is also crucial to conveying your key points and expressing authority. When we're giving background information, we can speak faster. But when you're giving a key point, make sure you slow down so the point can really go into people's heart. When I was a child, I always saw that, the top government leaders, they talk very slowly. At first, I thought that, they couldn't express themselves very well, and that's why they have to slow down. Turned out that only when you slow down will people truly focus on what you're saying. If you're speaking too fast, then what you're saying is only a blur to them, and they can't really process the meaning of your messages. The problem is, when people are nervous, they don't know how to slow down, and they start firing words at their audience or the interviewer. This is really catastrophic. Some social culture studies done by researchers, interns are meant to get experience and skills from the company and credits for their university. It should be noted that getting wages is not part of the original purpose of the internship. It's not a chance for students to fill their pockets, but rather one to fill their mind. So like that, if you keep firing words at your audience, they are clueless about what you're saying. Instead, if you can slow down and deliver the message slowly but clearly, then your audience will know what you're saying and they tend to accept your points better that way. Tip number 3, avoid using a rising intonation. Again, this is commonly observed in a lot of young people, the way they speak. They tend to use a lot of rising intonation. So what I did last weekend, I went shopping with my friend Jenny and we went to Zara and Topshop and Brandy Melville and we bought tons of clothes. And we also had bubble tea and burger, which I think is great. And we also went to the cinema and we had a great time there, I guess. The reason why using a rising intonation is inconfident is that it opens up endless possibilities. Because usually when we're speaking, a rising intonation indicates that a sentence hasn't finished yet. So if you want to sound assertive or aggressive, sometimes you definitely want to use a falling intonation. So my name is Emma and I am from Hong Kong and I just want to study in the UK because I know UCL is a great school and it's so famous. Like I really want to go there and to learn more and to explore the culture in the UK, which I think can benefit a lot. My name is Emma, I'm from Hong Kong. I really aspire to study in UCL, which I think is a great school. So as we know, the UK is a multicultural society. I believe if I go there, I can be exposed to a lot of different cultures from which I can learn a lot to improve myself. We know that when we're joining an interview, usually the person sitting on the other side of the table is your future employer, right? Or the school leader. So you definitely want to impress them by showing that you have this assertiveness and confidence to express yourselves clearly and confidently. So a rising intonation is not the best choice for you at a time. Instead, you should end your sentence, every sentence, with a falling intonation. So what have I told you today? 3 super handy tips to make you sound more confident. 1, remove the word like in speaking. 2, vary your pace of speaking. When you're giving a key point, slow down. 3, avoid using a rising intonation because that usually indicates self-doubt. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope these tips can really help you nail your next interview. See you next time. Bye.